One of the most important transits of 2022 occurs on Tuesday, May 10th, when Jupiter, the planet of growth, good luck, and abundance, enters brave and pioneering sign of Aries. Let's talk about it in more depth and break it down for all 12 rising signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive astrology. If you'd like to work with me and book a reading, you can do so at the link down below. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave me a comment. I truly appreciate all of the words that I get from you, all of the support that I get from you. So this transit, there's a two-part. It's a two-part transit. It starts on May 10th and it goes until October 28th. So for the next 5 months, a very significant chunk of time. And then Jupiter will go back to Pisces, and afterwards will again return to Aries from December 20th until May 16th. So what is Jupiter? Jupiter is the planet of growth, good luck, abundance, optimism, faith. It's kind of things, it's the way we grow in life, things that we find important to us. It's the teacher, so classically it's connected with wisdom, right? Like based on the sign Jupiter is placed, we may consider different things important and wise. And it's also the planet that offers us an opportunity to improve our life somehow, to get better at certain things. When you put it in Aries, it becomes the desire for growth that is very quick, that is very action-oriented. It's very self-driven. For a while, we had Jupiter in Pisces, and it would have been kind of like sitting in meditation and pondering the meaning of life and pondering your place in it. And then it's like the bell rings, and suddenly you have to run and get going and, you know, cook the meal for your monastery if you're meditating at a monastery. But there's like this energy of like, it's spring as well, right? Aries is the sign of spring. So new beginnings, a lot of exciting things. And you don't wait for other people to hand you opportunities. You create your own opportunities. You are the master of your destiny. Of course, with that, there can also be a little bit of ego, right? Too much of ego is not so great. But at the same time, a lot of focus on action, a lot of focus on initiative, and it's actually good for you. The more you take on the role of a leader, the more successful you'll become. Jupiter in Aries, people tend to be very good at leading things and very kind of like, they feel most successful when they brave the unknown waters, when they go in the territories that many people haven't been in before. And I'm personally super excited because it's my natal placement. So as someone who has it natally, to get a double dose of it is quite cool. So we will be more focused on being the first. We will be more brave. We will be more interested in taking risks, right? More excited about taking risks. And another thing that Jupiter being a teacher, when you put it in the sign of Aries, that is very impulsive, impatient, direct, courageous, you get that desire to teach, but sometimes feeling like in order to teach, you will have to fight for it. So kind of like if Jupiter in general is the planet of like coherence and bringing things together, in Aries, there's a sense of that sometimes to bring things together, you first have to express yourself. And we're already seeing this with Venus entering Aries, right? And the protests about abortion rights happening in the US, very much Aries energy. Like, I have a belief, my belief is firm, and in order to prove it to you and show it to you, I'm not afraid to express it and do it loudly and proudly and boldly. So it might be interesting to look back at when this transit was happening before to see what was happening in your life. In the past, we've had, obviously, it happens around every 11, 12 years. So last time we had this transit would have been from June 2010 until September 2010. And then again, January 2011 until June 2011. So take a look at what was going on in my life. what was going on in my life, in your life. In my life, I was editing my thesis film. I was graduating college. I presented my thesis at the college film festival. So there was a sense of expression, right? Like putting myself out there and being seen for my like passion project. And then you can also, if you remember even further back, the other time we had this transit would have been February 1999 until June 2000. And then again, October 1999. Oh, wait, sorry. February 99 until June 1999. And then October 1999 until February 2000. You can take a look at those dates and see what kind of things were happening, what kind of areas of focus were important, where did you experience any friction, tension, and where possibly you've had some breakthroughs. So to quickly go over some interesting historic events, there is a lot of exciting stuff and some challenging stuff. Like, you know, I mentioned that Jupiter in Aries can be connected to friction and tension and protests or demonstrations. And Jupiter was in Aries in 1917 when the US joined World War I. And it was also in Aries in 1939 when World War II started. Of course, you know, Jupiter has been in Aries many times after that, and there wasn't any major wars, so not to be afraid of that. But there is oftentimes like a sense of, you know, something reaching culmination, and people are more prone to pushing that red button. So, you know, hopefully on a global level, it's not going to present itself in that way. But on a personal level, just be aware that you're more willing to take a fight for things. So maybe like try to take a step back and see if these things that you're so passionate about, are they worth fighting for? Are they worth sabotaging good relationships for? Osama bin Laden was killed in 2011. There was also something called Arab Spring in 2011, where a Tunisian street vendor set himself on fire as part of a demonstration, which then brought up a lot of protests across the Middle East and even like was connected to Occupy Wall Street movement. On the more positive note, Jupiter and Aries can lead to breakthroughs and to kind of like new beginnings in spiritualities. There was the first worldwide meditation in 1987, which was something that was never done before. And then transcendental meditation became popular with Jupiter and Aries in 1975, 1976. There's also a lot of times, a lot of firsts, kind of like, you know, first, what are some examples? There was Britain's Order of the Garter, the most exclusive and prestigious level of knighthood, was open to women for the first time in history while Jupiter was in Aries. Batman appeared in DC Comics for the first time in 1939 when Jupiter was in Aries. So as much as there is a possibility of friction and tension, there's also a possibility of a superhero, right? Maybe a real superhero, not a comic superhero, but even a comic superhero appearing in like Batman is such a big deal, right? In the world of comics is exciting. My personal one is Nike Just Do It slogan was created in 1987 when Jupiter was in Aries, right? And like how big is it connected to Nike, and how connected is it to Jupiter and Aries too? While the entire energy of Jupiter and Aries is like, okay, you've pondered enough, just do it. It's time to do it. No time to waste. And another really exciting thing is Instagram was launched on October 6, 2010, while Jupiter was in Aries. It makes me feel so cool because, you know, it's the source of my business and it has the same Jupiter as I do. So clearly I'm very, very excited. So yeah, like some of the, you know, to sum it up before we go into each rising sign, some of the positives are being brave, being unafraid to go into new territories, being kind of not waiting for other people to give you a permission to do things that you want to do, being action oriented and kind of like going after things that you're excited about. And the challenges, be careful with being impatient, impulsive, don't pick up a hammer or a bat when you're frustrated. And too much excitement can also lead sometimes to overexpansion and taking on too much. So you want to be careful when it comes to that and don't overdo it. Kind of try to be balanced. What's important to note is that this transit is happening simultaneously with Mercury retrograde for the first 3 weeks. So while we all might feel a burst of spring energy and a burst of excitement over new opportunities, it's not the time to act. So if you feel like you should do it now, a lot of times it's not the truth. It might feel to you like this is the perfect time to do it. But if you wait a little bit, maybe you'll do it better. If you take your time to plan, as Mercury is retrograde from May 10th until June 3rd, you will likely get better results. So be patient. So let's talk about all the rising signs. For Aries rising, Jupiter goes into your first house. This is a wonderful time of many blessings, and you are the hand that creates those blessings, or you are the action hero, right? Like Jupiter, any planet in the first house by transit is the most embodied. So when Jupiter enters your first house, you feel more cheerful, you feel more optimistic, you feel more in control of your future. We just had a solar eclipse in your second house of finances and values. So chances are that your self-belief kind of goes up. And maybe if you've been, Jupiter would have been in Pisces in your 12th house for a while. So maybe there was some uncertainty about the future. Maybe you've been dealing with past questions and past traumas. And now with Jupiter entering Aries, you may feel like a burst of exciting new energy. Kind of like, the past is the past, but it doesn't define you. You can create new opportunities. This could be lovely for your health. Watch out for overindulging. Jupiter always has that tendency to overdo it. So be careful to not, overeat, overindulge in alcohol, etc. Great time for personal projects, any kind of self-development projects, starting a business, starting to write a book, becoming a photographer if you always wanted to be one. Jupiter is a teacher, so becoming a teacher of some sorts, even if you're not teaching in a classroom, but maybe you're sharing your, if you are a photographer, you're sharing your behind the scenes process on social media. And kind of starting to embrace more of a center stage role. And spending money, I think, on yourself, investing into your personal growth is a part of this too. For Taurus risings, Jupiter goes into the 12th house. And while Taurus rising just had a solar eclipse in the first house, so there's a lot of focus on your independence, your growth, your new beginnings, Jupiter in the 12th also kind of calls you to maybe take it easy and take a step back, because 12th house is the place of spirituality. It's the place of mental blocks and self-undoing. So Jupiter being in the 12th might encourage you to take stock of how you are standing in your own way, how you may be sabotaging yourself, or what have you not thought about, right? What do you need to... If you're taking a step back, what are you rethinking? What else requires planning and careful consideration? There might be past events, past relationships, past experiences that need your attention. 12th house is also a very spiritually oriented house, so there might be a lot of joy from spirituality, like becoming a yoga teacher, using your experience with, let's say, herbal medicine to give back to others. 12th house deals with people that are somehow forgotten, people who don't get enough attention, people who are isolated, misunderstood. So with Jupiter there, you can also be a person who shines light on topics that are hidden, that aren't comfortable. Maybe you're the one who's helping people and not just necessarily sitting in a cave and meditating for the next 5 months. Could be a lovely time for therapy. Listen to your intuition, pay attention to your dreams, because it's a very spiritually charged time and you don't want to miss it. For Gemini risings, Jupiter goes in your 11th house, and you may see a lot of benefits from coming to you from friendships, from social media, from people in your network. There might be more chances to work together with other people on either you are becoming a leader in a leadership position or you're collaborating with them on a project that you're excited about. Similarly, 11th house deals with volunteer work and charity. So being a part of a nonprofit organization, starting a community project that works with other people, or getting involved in some kind of like spiritual group project can be a part of this. 11th house is your fans. So, social media can definitely tie into building a fan base, presenting your ideas to the world. If you've been marinating, if you've had certain projects that you've been working on quietly. I mean, Jupiter would have been in your 10th house, blessing your house of career already. But I feel like now you get green light on showing them to others. And it can also bring a fulfillment of a dream or fulfillment of a long-term project. It's likely to feel easier. You will feel supported by others, and reaching out to others for help is very beneficial at this time. So even if you're normally, Jupiter in Aries is just do it yourself kind of energy. But you can also just do it and just reach out to that person who you know has the connection you need. So friendships and connections with your network can be very important right now. For Cancer rising, this is great professionally. Jupiter goes in your 10th house, the sector of career, reputation, status, and you are not waiting anymore. You are taking charge. You are like, now it's your time, and you're not going to be debating, even if you're not sure. Even if you're going to fall, you will get up and try again. That's also the blessing, I think, of the Jupiter and Aries energy. You stumble, it sucks, you fall down, you take care of your bruises, and you try again. So you can expect new beginnings in the career, like starting a business, maybe starting a new project, becoming a teacher. You can expect recognition and promotion and more opportunities to take center stage, to step into the spotlight, and maybe be like a leader at work where you take on a new project that other people feel uncomfortable with, and you're actually the one, I can handle it. And I think you will also likely be more generous with your time when it comes to your career, and more excited to put in the effort into the projects you're working on. For Leo rising, Jupiter is in the 9th house. So Jupiter goes into your 9th house. And 9th house deals with education, travel, religion, philosophy, and overall expansion of your world. So this is a perfect time to study something, especially if it deals with your beliefs or your philosophy, astrology, kind of like take a course on spirituality, dive into meditation. It could also be a lovely time to travel. One Leo rising I know is going to Portugal, I believe, and France. So that is very appropriate. And she's going when Jupiter will be already in Aries in her 9th house. So definitely exciting opportunities when it comes to travel, exciting opportunities when it comes to legal matters. Like if you are involved in any kind of legal matter, maybe at this time you hear good news about it. Maybe it gets resolved in your favor. Education, right? Becoming a teacher is also a possibility here, or sharing your insights through social media, perhaps. Even writing a book is also quite likely, or having a writing project that you're excited about with the 9th house. There might be more opportunities. Or maybe if you are a writer and there hasn't been any opportunities, you just start writing and you start posting a chapter of your work on, I feel like there are many websites out there that allow you to just like post some of it. Or maybe you start a Kickstarter campaign and you just tell people like, here's my work, please help me, please sponsor it. For Virgo risings, Jupiter goes in your 8th house, the place of karmic debts, entanglements we have with other people, both positive and negative, the place of shared resources, all the things, time, energy, and money that is not ours, that is given to us by other people. So if you are in a relationship, there might be good luck coming to you through your partner. For example, for some Leo risings, Jupiter would have been in the 8th house from the beginning of 2022 until now, May 10th. I have a client where like her husband got an inheritance from his accountant. So it's her 8th house, right? But who's benefiting is the spouse, and then she gets the money through him. So you can expect some kind of benefits coming to your partner. If you're single, maybe there's good luck from other people. Maybe other people bring in opportunities to teach. Maybe they give you a job. Maybe they offer you a pay raise. There might be opportunities to take on loans, especially let's say if you're interested in getting a mortgage and buying a house. Your mortgage might get approved, or you may pay off a debt actually. And it's also possible that like you get some kind of scholarship, or you get an inheritance, or you get help from a family member. You can definitely expect positive resources coming to you from others. 8th house also deals with transformations, and sometimes transformations are more mental than financial. So this can also deal with your, like, you feel a strong desire to start therapy. And with Jupiter in the 8th house, it might be easier to look at your limitations and all the fears that you have, and maybe have a bit of an easier time transforming them and letting things go. For Libra risings, this is exciting when it comes to relationships. Jupiter is entering your 7th house, and 7th house deals with any one-on-one partnerships, both romantic and business. So good luck when it comes to relationships. And it's that Jupiter and Aries energy, that courageous, brave, hero-like energy. So I feel like maybe you're becoming more brave when it comes to your love life. Maybe you're taking risks and dating a person that you wouldn't normally date, and it ends up being a big blessing for you because Jupiter is a good luck, right? So yeah, like if you're single, you may feel like a strong pull to go out and date, or you may suddenly be presented with an opportunity to start a business or start a business partnership. If you are in a relationship, there might be good luck coming to your partner, or you may be moving a relationship to a new level. Let's say committing to it, or moving in together, or getting married. Anything like that is a possibility. Jupiter being a teacher in the 7th house can also bring a teacher-like figure in your life. There might be a new significant relationship with a person that is highly inspirational, both, Jupiterian, optimistic, helpful, but also very Arian, courageous, and maybe they push you to take risks that you wouldn't normally take. And let me know if you've already been feeling any of it happening in your life, because Venus is in Aries already, so maybe you already feel this push to partner up and work with others and start new relationships. For Scorpio risings, Jupiter enters your 6th house. 6th house deals with health matters, your daily problem-solving life, your routine, your work agenda. So with Jupiter being there, you may get a chance to improve that part of your life. It's very beneficial for your health. So if you need to go through any medical procedures, or if there's any doctor's office, doctor visits that you need to handle, now is the time. I am wrapping it up as a Libra rising, and like it was all about doctor's visits, and everything was like really well, but there was a lot of kind of like maintenance work. So 6th house is the place of maintenance. So Jupiter might encourage you to take care of yourself and take care of your body. There might be more working out. There might be new routines when it comes to working out. Your diet is likely to improve. Of course, Jupiter at times can be too generous, so watch out for like being, eating everything. Of course, I don't think it's going to be like that, because Aries is a very like feisty energy. But there might be a tendency at times to just allow yourself to do things, to eat things that you wouldn't normally allow yourself. And it's okay to do it in moderation. Like everything is good in moderation. Sixth house also deals with service and work. So in that regard, you can expect more work. And it's sometimes could be like overwhelming, but because Jupiter is the planet of optimism and happiness, it's also likely that you're going to enjoy it. So it's not like you're going to be complaining about the amount of work, because perhaps you're getting recognition or you're getting to be seen for the work that you're doing. So it's still quite positive. And if any of you have pets and your pet has been struggling, or you've been considering getting a pet, there might be new developments there. Like your pet's health might improve, or you finally get that pet that you wanted. For Sag risings, Jupiter enters the 5th house, and there is positive energies, positive developments when it comes to romance, creativity, and children. So let's start from the end. Children-wise, right? Whenever Jupiter is in your 5th house for any sign, anywhere, right? It's the most fertile time. It's highly fertile time. So you can get pregnant, or you can give birth, or you can get pregnant with a creative project, because 5th house is the place of joy. It's all the things that you enjoy doing. And making babies is one of the things, but so is being playful, so is painting, drawing, singing. So Jupiter being there, I think, is like the time of taking action when it comes to your creative projects, and also, like taking action and becoming more creative. Romantically, this could be a blessed time. I feel like it's that like Blessed Bee. What is that TV show? I cannot remember. If you remember, let me know in the comments below. They all wear red. Blessed Bee. Anyways, I'm gonna move on. But it's a great time for dating and romance, and you feel like more excited. I think for Libra risings and Sag risings, there's similar energies when it comes to dating, because you feel like there needs to be more fun in your life, and you're going after it. You're not waiting for things. You're not waiting for like a partner or anything. You're going out there and you're being like, hey, let's go. You and me, let's go. So be careful with Jupiter in the 5th house to not overdo the fun, and like, especially when it comes to gambling or taking risks that can potentially be costly for you. For Capricorn risings, Jupiter enters the 4th house, so you can expect positive developments when it comes to real estate, land, your home, your place of living, and your family. So Jupiter in the 4th might focus your attention a lot on your safety and security and feeling secure in the home. And if you're not feeling secure, might be the time to move, might be the time to expand your property, or do some work on, bettering it. People can start like renovation projects, people can buy land and start building a home, moving to a different state, to a different house is a possibility, whatever allows you to be more happy. And Jupiter is also very expansive. So if you have a home, maybe you're starting to build like a separate extension to it. Family relationship can improve, and overall your living situation, your relationship with your neighbors can get better. And on a more spiritual level, you may become more interested in, in finding comfort in things that are not tangible. Like maybe you're diving into Buddhism, or you're starting to meditate, or you're beginning to journal, because you're trying to find comfort internally. And and if, family matters do get better, but if something feels unhappy, you're not as afraid, or you're kind of like more willing to take a risk and let things go. For Aqua risings, Jupiter enters the 3rd house, and 3rd house is the place of writing, communication, your voice, your daily life, your schedule, technology you use, messages you send, people you talk to on your daily life. So there might be a lot of opportunities when it comes to writing, when it comes to teaching skills, kind of like expressing, teaching, more applied skills, more applied knowledge. There might be opportunities to use technology to your advantage. Like sometimes people can start a blog, or buy new equipment for their YouTube channel or start a podcast or a YouTube channel. You desire to speak more, I think, and you may have a lot more ideas that could be helpful when it comes to starting a business or connecting with others. Relationships with siblings and family members may improve, and there might be exciting things happening in the life of your siblings, exciting new beginnings. As well as Jupiter being in your third house, I think can bring a lot of opportunities to improve your schedule. Maybe even having more joy in your schedule, adding more joy to your schedule, right? Like if you drive to work, maybe now you ask your boss to work from home, or you ask them to do like 2 days at work, 3 days at home, and you're kind of adjusting things. There might be more short trips, more fun to have in your neighborhood. It's getting warmer. Maybe you're going out more and exploring local coffee shops and local bars and just hanging out with people that you randomly meet on the street. And finally, for Pisces rising, it's all about the money. And Jupiter goes into your second house. And of course, there's also values in the second house, but financially, this can definitely be beneficial. And making money through competitive things like being a business owner, or if you work for commission, you reach out to more clients, you kind of hustle a lot more. And Jupiter will be definitely, it's promising when it comes to your finances. There might be a pay raise, there might be a bonus, there might be a supplemental or a new source of income that you find. Of course, Jupiter is not only giving you money. Sometimes Jupiter means spending a lot of money on something. So maybe you're investing into a home and buying a home. So that might be costly for you. And Jupiter in general tends to value spiritual wealth over material wealth. So if there is a boost in finances, I think you will likely be choosing money or choosing a job that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel worthy and validated. And there might be a bit of a switch after Jupiter would have spent a while in your first house of identity. I feel like there is currently a switch going on in a lot of Pisces risings over things that matter to you and things that make you happy. So whatever job you take on, whatever recognition you seek, is more soul fulfilling versus your pocket fulfilling. So this is all I have. If you listen till the end and you have anything to add and share about what's going on in your life and how you see Jupiter in Aries benefiting you, or even if you just want to tell me that, you like my earrings, do so. And I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you in the next video.